an adventure into the paranormal, where you will discover many haunted locations, hear personal stories about paranormal encounters, and see a supernatural world through the eyes of experienced paranormal researchers Joe Franke and Dr. Heather Leigh. Joe Franke is a veteran in the paranormal world, beginning his journey in 1986 as an apprentice, working alongside his mentors, renowned researchers Ed and Lorraine Warren. Today, Joe is an accomplished paranormal researcher, demonologist, consultant, and lecturer with over 37 years of experience. Dr. Heather Leigh is the founder of Exploration Paranormal, based out of Southwest Central Florida, with more than 35 years' experience researching and investigating paranormal activity. She is a member of Paranexus, Anomalous Research Association, and the Witches Paranormal Society. Now, your hosts of Passport to the Paranormal, Joe Franke and Dr. Heather Leigh.
Hey there, everyone. Welcome to the show. We are excited to be here. We have some exciting news coming up later at the end of the show. But hey, Joe, how are you doing today?
Hey, how are you? Good. I'm hot. It's hot up here.
No. You should come to Florida.
I know. And I said before, I'm preaching to the choir.
Right. And you'll be here probably for Phantasm at one of the hottest times of the year, too.
Yeah. Well, you know, last year we never left the building, really, except for that one restaurant. And I walked across the parking lot and I was in ball soup.
I know. It was awful. And as much as I love the introduction that Todd did for us, the only thing I'm thinking as it's going is, man, that's really dating us. You know, you have more than 37 years. I have more than 35 years in the field. It's like, oh.
Wow. I know. 1986. That was a lifetime ago. Mm-hmm. God, yep. I can't remember what I had for breakfast.
Oh, you're too funny. You're old. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I tell everybody I'm so old, my insurance company sent me half a calendar.
I know. I freaked out. This was, Josh says you're all old.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Josh.
He's only
Manchester, England.
He's only 39, so what can I say?
Is he?
Yes.
He's a puppy.
I know.
I've got underwear older. Well, never mind. That's for another show.
Exactly. We'll save that for another show. We'll investigate your haunted underwear.
Well, it's kind of stretched, but.
Courtney says Josh is old. She's only 30. Thank you, Courtney. Put him in his place.
Wow. 30.
Yeah, it's funny. I've been in this field.
My life ago.
Yeah, I know. It's like I've been in this field almost as long as he's been alive. And yet he puts up with me. So what can I say?
Hey, I married a cougar. My wife's older than I am. Mm-hmm. You know, I won't say how old because she'll kill me, but I'll whisper it into the mic.
Oh, thank you, Courtney. We love you too. Thank you for watching and supporting the show. We wouldn't be able to do this if we didn't have our followers and our supporters. Hi, yes, Joe. I heard the Facebook user says, "Hi, Joe. I heard Floridas have air conditioning to keep those suckers cool before you fry them in Old Sparky."
Well, I may end up there in September when I'm down there.
Yeah, I know. Depending on what county you're in, Florida doesn't take any crap.
Well, especially if they let me in to see Robert the Doll.
That will be fun.
I am going to give that little sumbitch a hug. I'll ask his permission first, but.
What would you do if he puts his hands up and he's like, "No"?
Spank him.
I'll take your little doggy. Here we joke about it, but if Robert the Doll is really this all-powerful being, he probably knows we're joking about him, and we're probably going to pay for it.
I don't know. You got to show him some respect, I guess, but I don't really buy into all that stuff.
Yeah,
and I'm not going to tempt him, but I mean, you know, is it possible? Yeah, it's possible.
Right. Because it's funny, the minute you walk into the room, the mood in the air changes, but I don't know if it's because either A, they're making it more humid in there to make you feel like it's changing, or if it's just, self-manifestation of I'm supposed to feel creepy in this room.
Yeah, I think it's the latter because, it's psychosomatic.
Right.
It's like it's like I was watching a show the other night. I forget what it was, but they're staying in this alleged haunted hotel room, but they knew the story, the backstory. Right. It's like, nah, you got to put them somewhere when they don't know anything about what happened there. Because then it's like every little noise you hear, or thing you may feel, or something, a breeze of whatever, lights flickering. It's all going to be paranormal, and it's just not the case.
Yeah, and that's where, I know I like to research 100% before going into a location, so that's kind of bad on my part because I know these stories going in. But I'm also one to, if I hear a noise, I'm going to figure out what's causing it before I say it's paranormal, and that's not what a lot of people do.
Yeah. There's usually a rational, natural explanation, scientific explanation. If the lights are flickering, well, maybe the bulb's going to go out, or you got a short or something, or there's a problem with the ground. There's so many things it could be, but don't already think, I have a ghost or I have the D word. We won't mention that.
Oh, what was it that I saw a lot of people on Facebook lately? That's the latest paradrama. I know we're supposed to be talking about lighthouses, and trust me, we will.
We'll get there. We got time.
But the latest paradrama I've been seeing on Facebook is people upset. And I get it because I get upset with it too, but I don't air my dirty laundry on Facebook. But people are getting upset and attacking each other because they're sharing videos and they're using the D word just to get likes and clicks and people watching their videos. And it's like a battle back and forth. And I'm just sitting there with my popcorn enjoying the view.
So you mean they're mentioning it just to get clicks?
Right. Yeah.
So
they'll create a YouTube video that says the demon of, let's just say Manchester Inn. And of course, people are going to click on that. But then you have the ones that are upset with it. Instead of, just minding their own business and doing their own thing, they're verbally attacking these other groups.
I never understood, and I'm being serious here for a second. I never understood why people would get into an argument or a fight or whatever on social media, because nobody ever wins those battles. You both look stupid. I know. And I know it's hard. I've never been personally attacked. Well, maybe I will tonight, but seriously, you always try to take the high road, or you got to take the high road. Sometimes you really got to bite your tongue and you just want to lash out and set people straight, but it's not worth it because any coward can sit behind the keyboard. There's nothing that I wouldn't say to someone, but I'm not going to insult anyone.
Right.
I wouldn't do that. Even if I totally disagreed with someone, we need to respect each other as individuals. We all have our own opinions and the way we look at things. We may not agree with each other's methods, but that's what makes us different.
Right. Yeah. Actually, it's funny that came up too, because I just finished writing a blog it's scheduled to post later this month on my website. And it was how to deal with paranormal naysayers or negative people in the field. And one of them was, if they disagree with you and they lash out at you on Facebook, just comment politely. If you don't feel like if you have to say something, just comment politely, thank you for your feedback. I'll take it into consideration, and then hit the block button.
Right. Well, that's why you and I agree that we love to educate people.
Yep.
Look, do I have all the answers? Absolutely not. But, after 37 years, I know a little something, and maybe you can learn from me and I can learn from you. But, if people don't agree with certain methods or whatever, that's fine. I talk about the cat balls all the time. I don't use them, but I don't make fun of people that do. People can do what they want,
Right.
I joke around a lot, but
I laugh because my Wednesday show host, co-host, he's always cringes when people say cat balls. So everybody says it on purpose when he's on, and he's like, they're spirit balls.
Well, I don't know. It's just, it's crazy. You brought up a loaded topic with, with people going after one another. And I don't know if it's just envy, jealousy, whatever you want to call it. This one was on this show or this one was on this show. So what? I mean, that doesn't mean anything. I got into this work, and I'm sure you did as well, to help people.
Yeah.
And to educate people. Those are my two main, functions, really. Mm-hmm. And to have fun. So that would be 3. And we do have a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
But when it gets down to the brass tacks and you got to get serious, you want to make sure you've helped someone that's reached out to you and they may be legitimately scared. Mm-hmm. They may not have a quote unquote paranormal issue, but in their mind, it's very real.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And then you gotta find out why that is. How many of these TV shows do you watch? How many of these horror flicks do you watch? Oh, we watch them all. Stop.
Yep.
Stop watching these TV shows because, like I said, it gets in your head. And now you're thinking, I can't explain why this light was flickering, and they all immediately think they've got a ghost or something. And it's just not the case. But we don't want to make fun of people like that. To them, it's very real. So right. it's walking them back off the ledge and saying, hey, sit down for a minute. Let's explore this rationally,
Yeah. So and I always tell people too, because sometimes they'll see us laughing. Like we did a show on orbs a couple weeks back. And by the end of the show, we were laughing at some of the photos that I was sharing. And they were all photos that I got offline from news stations. So it wasn't like we were laughing at anyone in particulars,
Yeah, well, people probably took offense to it, right?
Right. Yeah. And some people were upset. And it wasn't that we had to blow off some steam because we deal this with every day. And when you receive 100 orb photos and you explain for the 1 millionth time, that's just airborne particles, we kind of have to laugh. That's our way of, releasing our tension that we deal with. And we weren't laughing at anyone in particular. It was just we're dealing with this over and over and over.
Yeah, and we don't want people to feel like we're not making fun of them. It's just, some people send me pictures all the time, as I'm sure they do to you, and they'll say, what do you think of this picture? And I'm like, well, okay, it's a picture, but what's the backstory? What's the context? Are there any other photos taken before or after it? Just send me a photo with an orb-like thing. I'm like, I don't know. And if you say the wrong thing, like, well, it kind of looks like a bug that flew in front of the camera, and then they get all upset. Mm-hmm. Well, my friend told me it was a demon. Well, whatever. Maybe your friend needs psychological care.
Yep. I always ask them if they want the truth or what they want to hear.
Yeah.
And if it's what they, want to hear, because I'll take the photo and I'll analyze it. I'll analyze it down to the pixels because I can tell if a photo is faked just from looking, with my photo degree. I can tell if photos are faked. And it's like, you can't, I always say you can't pull one over, but there's been some that have gotten by me. But for the most part, it's like, do you want to know the truth or you just want to live your happy little lie?
Well, yeah. I used to say to my old boss years ago, I'd say, don't ask me a question that you don't want to know the answer to. Mm-hmm. Yep. It's just, it's a loaded question. What do you think of this picture? And I'll just say, thank you for sharing. It's very interesting. I said, but I don't have enough information to really make a judgment, but it may look like this or this, but I could be wrong. I'm leaving it open. Yep. So like, well, Joe said that it could be this. I'm like, well, it could be anything, but you don't want to get, because if, like you said, if you tell them, oh, that's just a bug, that's nothing, then they get all ticked off at you.
Right.
Because they thought they caught something and they're all excited, and then you just cut their legs out from under them.
I had that at Phantasm. Someone cornered me and showed me it felt like 100 videos, but I think it was only like 1 or 2. And I'm just sitting there smiling and nodding. It's like, I don't want to come across as rude, but I'm like, I go, you might have something, I'm like, I'm not saying you don't have anything attached to your house or your dog, but I don't see what you're seeing in the video is like about all you can say.
Yeah. We had a case, I don't know, a couple months ago. The woman sent us through email, I want to say close to 50 short videos of her sleeping. Mm-hmm. It was just her sleeping, and she had a oxygen tube in, and she'd be on the couch, and she would say, something's moving the blanket. And I'm like, dear, that's your hand under the blanket. Mm-hmm. No, it's not. There's something there. I felt it on me. I'm like, I'm not going to argue with you. I said, you asked my opinion. I'm giving you my opinion based on what I'm seeing. I said, I'm not trying to offend you or say you're a liar. I'm just saying that you asked my opinion. You're sound asleep. Maybe you're having a dream and you thought something. I'm trying to be nice about it.
Right.
But, but she just continued to send them. And I looked at them. I had members of the team look at them, and we all came to the same consensus that there wasn't anything there. You know, and finally she moved on, but she probably just sent them to somebody else. No, but seriously, people will do that. They'll jump from people to person until you find someone that will agree with them, and that will validate what they think they have. And I can't do that. I mean, you know, I got to look myself in the mirror, and I have to like what I see. I'm not going to lie to you.
No, I'm still getting calls from a case that we handled in Vegas, and we ended up having to let her go because she refused to go to the doctor. And people are calling me saying, okay, what do you have from this case? And it's like, and I tell them, you know, we don't have anything because she refused to go to the doctor. But yet she's telling people she worked with me.
Go to the doctor for an evaluation, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, see, that's when we usually lose people. We had one out in California not too long ago, and this woman and her partner were allegedly desperate for help. And I'm like, well, I'm all the way in Connecticut. I'm across the country, but I'm giving you the best advice I can give you. You know, she was being, you know, her health was being affected. Says it wasn't letting her eat or drink. I said, well, dear, you need to get to the hospital. She was, well, I don't have a way to get there. I said, well, call 911. At least they'll send out a paramedic team and they'll evaluate you on site. And then they'll say, you don't have to go with them. You can refuse, you know, transport, but at least you have a medical professional looking at you and saying, you know, I think you really should come with us. You know, and at which point now you have a ride to get to the hospital, you know, but she wouldn't do it. She refused to do it. And her partner was kind of just, you know, she would say, yeah, you really should go, but she'd say no, and they'd start arguing. And then the partner would give up, you know, and eventually the woman kind of faded into oblivion. I didn't hear from her anymore. And I felt really bad about it, but what do you want me to do? Drive to California? I mean, you know.
Yeah. My favorite thing is I'm always told whenever I tell them what I see in the videos, I'm always told sorry, someone's shooting off fireworks. So sorry if you guys hear the loud bangs in the background.
Fireworks, it's July 6th.
I know, but they're
shooting gonna blow off a finger. You watch. You're going to hear a scream next.
Well, we'll have to investigate them.
We already had one person killed here in Connecticut over the weekend. Fireworks thing fell over and shot into the crowd. Somebody got killed. And about 9 other people got hurt. It's not funny. I mean, play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Yep. Yeah, we just played with sparklers on our back patio. We played it easy. Our poor dog, she couldn't handle them.
I think I was taking a nap. I'm not, you know, when I was a kid, one of my friends blew off a finger with an M80. And, you know, fireworks, they scare me. Yeah. Because they're unpredictable. You light the wick, it could be a quick wick, and it blows up in your face, now you're blind or worse. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
No, but anyway, what it was is I was analyzing some photos for someone, and she told me, why do you do what you do if you don't believe in the paranormal? And it's like, it's not that I don't believe in the paranormal, but what you're showing me, I don't see anything paranormal.
Well, that's where the educational piece comes in. It's like, well, why do you think it's paranormal? I'll turn it around on them and say, well, you know, I respect your opinion. Why do you think it is paranormal? And I'll tell you why I think it's not.
Yeah, you know, it's an interesting world we work in.
It's always walking a tightrope because you always want to be conscious of people's feelings. You don't want to insult anybody because then they go on Facebook and trash you. Oh, this guy was a jerk. You know, like, no, I'm just trying to be honest with you. You know? Whatever. What are you going to do? You can't please everyone.
Yep. And I'm just reading some comments.
I haven't read them.
Yeah. Facebook user, I don't see what your name is, but yeah, if you have a question, feel free to ask and we'll do our best to answer that. And yep, nope, sorry, I just wasn't reading the comments. We were just chit-chatting back and forth. So don't know who you are, don't know where you're from, but feel free to ask any questions you have.
Got my ghost cat over here.
I was gonna say I didn't have my glasses on, but I kept seeing something move behind you.
Well, she just came in. There she is. In the back of me.
And my dog's practically sitting in my lap because of the fireworks.
Yeah, I have weird stuff going on all the time, but I just assume it's one of the cats. I have 5 of them. They're usually not down here, though, but my son shut the door with her down here. But thank you, Courtney. We love you too.
Yep.
At least somebody loves me. Kim, do you love me? No, I don't see that.
I don't think Kim loves us.
I'm such a wise ass. Hey, you got to have a sense of humor when you do this, right?
Yeah. It's, how is it? Someone mentioned the other day, we deal with death on a daily basis that we got to let loose every once in a while.
Well, yeah. British are welcome. We love you.
Her stepmom must be sleeping. She's goo-goo for Joe Franke.
What?
Is her mom the anaconda girl?
Oh, stop. I'm in trouble when I get down there. You're going to have to protect me. Josh, help me out. That girl, I mean, look, she's a nice girl. We call her Squeak. Because then, like, 3 times after that, I would be unsuspecting. I'd be talking to somebody, literally talking to somebody. And she'd come up from behind and give me this death squeeze. I mean, she didn't just give me a hug. She'd squeeze my neck and my balls are popping out. And she's like, you need a hug, don't you? I'm like, not now. Not from you.
She was a sweet girl. She just really liked you.
Yeah, I didn't want to hurt her feelings, but she kept talking to me. She's like, oh, my husband's supposed to come down and relieve me because she had a little booth. And I'm like, this is some kind of phantom husband because she said that all weekend. I'm like, where's your husband? He's like, 9 o'clock in the morning. Oh, he's sleeping. 5 o'clock at night. Where's your husband? Oh, he's sleeping.
She probably drugged him in the hotel room.
I'm like, oh my God.
Josh says you're on your own when it comes to squeaks.
Oh God. You guys got to run interference for me.
I can't. I'm going to be on the other side of the hall from you.
Well, I'm going to come sit with you guys then. I'm going to get myself in trouble, I'm sure. She'll probably bring friends.
Or you'll bring your wife with and she'll...
Yeah, Laurel told me she's not coming. She's got to work, but I told her. Then I mentioned that possibly the MegaCon, is it, in February?
Yep. Bill's looking into getting me into that one as well.
Yeah, I'd like to do that. So she may come with me to that.
Yep. I know my mom is looking into, instead of my driving back and forth every day like I did last year, my mom's looking into getting a hotel room, and her and I are going to stay, and she's going to help me with the festival.
Okay. Well,
so you'll get to meet Mom.
Oh, cool. But does Mom want to meet me? You're never the same after you spend time with me.
She doesn't mind.
I'll have to bring a bunch of I Love Joe Franke stickers.
Exactly.
Is Jeff on?
I haven't seen Jeff, and he sent me a message. I think it was because he can't be on my show in 2 weeks, so I got to message him back.
Oh.
I didn't open it yet because I haven't been on Facebook long enough to log in and look. Chris
told me he wasn't feeling well, so please, prayers for Jeff, if that's true. Yep. I haven't talked to him in like a week.
Yep. Courtney says to get a few shirts.
Shirts? What shirts?
The I Love Joe Franke shirts.
Oh. I don't know. I know Dana's supposed to send me a hoodie so I can advertise.
I'll have to add it to my Teespring store.
Or the Python that says PPI, Python Paranormal Investigations, a subsidiary of Joe Franke Productions.
Oh, that's too funny. I'll have to. If not, I'll add it to my Teespring store and print a few.
I double dog dare you. What if they sell like hotcakes?
I know.
What do you guys think? Would you buy one? Support the cause?
If that's the case, then I'll contact my new supplier that's going to be sending me a whole bunch of shirts and stuff. Okay, so the Facebook user says, my main area of interest is astrophysics. Love it. What has always fascinated me is the block universe theory that all reality, including future, exists now. Kind of like destiny. Your death has already happened. Your time car hasn't got there yet. I make sense of this by thinking of the universe and a thought experiment of mine as a road with a beginning and an end, and time is a car, and you drive through it, but no reverse gear. The faster you go, the less you age because of time dilation.
And I just watched a show on that.
I was going to say that sounds familiar, and it's something new. Go. Yeah. I mean, I know it's not the same thing, but in theory, I watch Orville, which used to be on FX and Hulu, and they did that when they were trying to travel back or forward in time. they actually traveled faster than the speed of time or speed of light, and they didn't age while the rest of the universe around them.
Right. I mean, if that
forward.
were only possible, but I'm fascinated with time travel and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you've probably seen all this stuff in the news about Beetlejuice, the star Beetlejuice,
right.
not the Beetlejuice. Oh, they're coming out with a Beetlejuice too. Did you know that?
I know. I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, I mean to get off topic, but if you guys didn't know, they're starting to film this month up in East Corinth, Vermont. They rebuilt the whole house, and the town, the facades and everything, the fire station, the maintenance. Was it Maitland hardware store? So I'm all psyched about that. But anyway, Beetlejuice, yeah, but it's 650 light years away. So I guess that means by traveling at the speed of light, it would take 650 years to reach it.
Right.
If I got that right, help me out, folks.
I think so.
I'm a big dumb animal.
And the Facebook user, it's not coming up on my feed past the word time dilation. If you can just copy and paste the rest of your question into it, you must have typed too much and it's not showing on my end. So that's why I wasn't able to get the full question.
Oh, sorry about that.
That's okay. StreamYard only shows so much and it doesn't let me see the rest of it. And Todd probably fell asleep back there. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding, Todd. We love you.
I love Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's one of my favorites. I used to watch Carl Sagan a lot, but he's worm food now. Sorry. Well, we should probably talk about lighthouses.
Yeah, Todd's laughing his butt off, he says, because I'm picking on him. But yeah, so when I see that comment come up from the user that's asking the question about time dilation, I will make sure we get to that. But yeah, lighthouses.
Fascinating question.
Yeah, so far the topic is great on that one. But yeah, lighthouses, I do want to thank you for writing that forward, even though it took me several months to get it from you.
I'm sorry.
It's fine.
I've got functions to go to.
Sure.
No, I just sat here watching TV.
It just makes me feel like I'm in love.
Well, you told me I had a couple of weeks.
I'm teasing.
That was 3 months ago. I know.
But yeah, for those of you who don't know, Haunted Florida Lighthouses will be out September 11th. I wish my publisher had picked a different date. I hope that's not an omen of what the book sales are going to be like. But so yeah, that'll be coming out. And Joe wrote the foreword, a lot of amazing information in there as well. Just super excited for this one to come out. I mean, I covered everything from the Key West lighthouses to St. Augustine, of course, that had to be in there. There was over 200 lighthouses in Florida, and only about, I think they said 10% of them, I think is the number, are still active. But yeah, it's amazing. And actually, while I was writing the book, we lost one of them during the last hurricane we had.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Which one?
Yeah, one of them.
Do you remember?
It was down by Fort Myers, but it was already tilting. It looked like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. I wish I could remember it off the top of my head. Sorry. But when that storm came through, it just washed it completely out to sea. I
mean, I'm in love. I'm in love with lighthouses. I mean, just they're iconic. The history behind them. I live in Connecticut. We only have a couple here, but I go to Maine a lot, which is only a few hours up the highway. And I believe there's 65 lighthouses in Maine. And I believe, I don't want to misspeak, and maybe someone could correct me, but I think they're all privately owned, but the Coast Guard obviously owns the light. They're owned either by, usually not individuals, but the town or a Lighthouse Society, American Lighthouse Foundation. But one interesting thing I did want to mention tonight, just an interesting tidbit is there were some photographs that were put on the Voyager spacecraft that was launched, I believe, in 1977. And one of the photographs put on the disc was the Cape Nedick Light in York Beach, Maine, also known as the Nubble Light, which is one of my favorites. And it's about a little less than 3-hour drive. So sometimes I'll just go up on a Saturday morning. We'll go up, have breakfast, visit the lighthouse, walk around the beach, and come home. But, like pictures like the Taj Mahal and the Great Wall of China, and basically, whatever alien species found this, it was supposed to be a testament to man's accomplishments. And the Nubble Light was one of the photographs in there, in case anybody's interested.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I saw it on a documentary, but I thought that was really cool because it's one of my favorites. And I think I'm drawn to that one a lot because you can't access it. It's only, I mean, it's only accessible by boat, but you're not allowed. The public isn't allowed over there. Every once in a while, they'll have like a raffle. You know, they'll take like a group of 10 people over in a boat and they'll let them go through it. I've seen virtual tours and stuff, but that one, and then I think the oldest one is Portland Headlight in Cape Elizabeth, Maine. 1791. I didn't come to give you a history lesson, but that was commissioned by George Washington. I just love lighthouses, and if they're haunted, bonus.
Yes.
Bonus.
Yeah, and oh geez, I had a total of 32 chapters, I think, and each chapter was its own lighthouse. So that's
great.
how many were haunted in Florida.
Wow. I mean, are these like proven to be haunted or just stories? Or
a lot of them are stories, but like St. Augustine's been proven. Jupiter Lighthouse. There's one Ponce de Leon Lighthouse, and then it's actually a faux lighthouse, and it's in Johns Pass. And there's reports of Confederate soldiers walking nearby that. And then also Mount Dora, which is in the center of the state, put up a lighthouse to navigate the chain of lakes in the center of Florida. And that one is also really haunted.
Well, maybe I could take some extra time and we could visit some of them.
Yep, just
I
let me know.
really hope we get to talk, lecture at some of these. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I know my publisher's working on getting a few things set up with the different lighthouses here in Florida. So they're working on that.
Yeah, I mean, couple it with a book signing event.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I just love to come see the lighthouses.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, we got plenty of them.
let us know in the comments, what's your favorite lighthouse, or do you have a haunted lighthouse story? Or I know there's a bunch of them up in Maine, but that's my favorite area up there.
Yeah. And I know there's a bunch on the Great Lakes.
Oh yeah, I mean, the Great Lakes have more lighthouses than any state, that's for sure. Because they're great.
Yep. And our Facebook user finally put his question. Thank you for putting that there. My question is, if you accept block theory, can we be visited by ghosts from the future? And he says the gators in Manchester, England are much bigger.
Block theory. I don't. What is block theory? Do you know? I'm not really sure. I'm a big dumb animal.
Right. Yeah. It's from the little bit I know about it is like he was saying, it's the faster you go, you don't age type of thing. And that they're able to travel.
That's what it's called. Okay. I didn't really know that.
Yeah. That's what they were talking about. And I truly believe some theories that I've been trying to research, but it's always hard to research because it's the paranormal so unknown is, are the ghosts that we're encountering, are they from the future or are they alien in form and not really spirits?
I mean, my personal opinion is, I have an open mind about everything. I mean, anything's possible.
Yep.
It may be unlikely, but it's possible. I mean, I have an open mind about that. You don't usually catch me saying that's not possible, because then I think about, me and how did I get here? How is that possible?
Yep.
By some greater power, I made it here. We all did.
Yeah.
So
I know I
absolutely believe it's possible. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I know there were some theories, I want to say 20 years ago now, that it's one of those things where, like, if you're able to travel away from Earth faster than light speed and have a strong enough camera to shoot back at Earth, you can actually photograph the past.
And watch myself age.
So that's always, fascinated me. Like, could we travel fast enough and have a strong enough camera to, photograph dinosaurs?
Someday, maybe. I mean, maybe 500 years from now, I don't know. I mean, we could speculate all day long, but I think anything will be possible with the technology in the future. Hopefully we have a future with what's going on in the world today.
I know.
Blow ourselves up.
Yeah.
We just can't get along.
Nope. But anyway, switching back to lighthouses. If any of you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. If you would travel faster, you travel forward, you're actually going to the past. No, if we can see the remnants from the Big Bang and can travel faster than light, we will catch up with the birth of the solar system. Yep, that's exactly what I was mentioning.
Okay.
Yep. So some more things we need to research, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to learn. I mean, I see things on TV, documentaries, and like what we thought about the Big Bang Theory, we were actually wrong. It's something else.
Right.
And you're just sitting there going,
I know.
Trying to, wrap your head around all this information. It's amazing. I mean, the stuff that they're finding with this new James Webb telescope, it's amazing that some of the images and, I still think Pluto's a planet.
I was just going to say that. I go, they need to make Pluto a planet again.
Why is everybody picking on Pluto? Pluto's a planet.
No. What we need to do is I need to reach out to some of the people that I know that do different research projects and see if we can get into Skinwalker Ranch. Yeah. I truly do believe a lot of the answers are there. We just got to figure out how to unlock them.
I'm game. I'll go anywhere.
They have everything from skinwalkers to aliens to ghosts to...
What was that story that was like back in May where this alleged alien spacecraft landed in somebody's backyard and they saw these 10-foot beings? And I'm like, where's the video? Where are the photographs?
Was in Vegas. Yeah, that was in Vegas and they were probably drunk.
What? Because it happened in Vegas? It stays in Vegas? I mean, come on. Share some information. The family's like, yeah, it was right in front of me. I'm like, well, where are the photos? Now, I sit here by myself screaming at the TV all the time. It's like, show me some evidence. You watch Slapped Ham or whatever, bizarre, whatever they're called, these shows. And they'll show it in a video, and it might look pretty interesting. And you're looking at it, all of a sudden it cuts off. Like, oh, the user it cut it off there, and we haven't heard from them. I'm like, well, I don't have enough information to form an opinion. But what I saw was pretty interesting.
Or why can't we get a clear photo of Bigfoot?
Oh, don't get me started. It's always like, oh, it's shaky or it's grainy or they're too far away. Look, if I see a Bigfoot, right, what I think is a Bigfoot wandering through the forest, I'm running after it. I'm going to try to get images. I don't know. That's a whole nother show. Let's have another show on Bigfoot.
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
I'll be a 2-hour show.
And our Facebook user says he fell into a canal in Manchester, England. I nearly got eaten by a 10-foot long gator. That's common here in Florida, but was pulled out by a marine scientist. And then regarding the video in the incident in Vegas, a police dash cam caught the incident. I thought I heard that. Not of aliens, but of a glowing, exploding light heading towards someone's house. It
was on the guy's body cam. I saw that, but nothing after that. I don't know what it was, but I saw the light. It came down. The cop had his body cam on. But they said they actually saw these things. And if the spacecraft landed and left a perfect circular indentation on the ground, didn't anybody photograph or video the spaceship?
Yeah. See, and I'd like to know where in Vegas this was at, just because living there for so long, there's no yards out there big enough to take this alien spacecraft. The houses are built on top of each other.
Yeah. Courtney, if the Bigfoot is chasing me, it's because he's jealous. I got big feet.
Say anything. We're going to tell Squeaks that.
Yeah, Squeaks. Yeah, but I mean, whatever. I don't want to get off on a tangent because I could do that very easily.
I know, so much for lighthouses today.
Oh, I love lighthouses.
I know, I'm just picking.
Well, what's your favorite haunted lighthouse?
For me, it would have to be the Jupiter Inlet.
All right. How far is that from where we're going to be?
Probably, my parents are it's closer to Bill, where Bill lives, because my parents are about 2.5 hours from where we're going to be at, and then the Jupiter Lighthouse is about 45 minutes from where they live. I'd
really like to visit some of these.
So the ones for you that you'd probably be able to is we could do Mount Dora. That's the one that's inland. On the lakes. That's not too far from Orlando. Tampa, you're probably going to have 5 or 6 within an hour and a half drive of Orlando. Oh, depending on traffic. Depending on when we leave I-4, it could take us 4 hours.
Maybe we could take a spaceship. Hey, it could happen.
Yeah, that's why we need one of those bullet trains.
Well,
I know they're working on it, but I'll believe that when I see it. They said that before.
Bullet trains?
Yeah.
I don't know.
They were working on it before we moved to Vegas, and here we are 8 years later.
Well, I got them in Japan, I think. They're pretty fast. Don't they go like 300 miles an hour or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
You don't have fender benders at 300 miles. You go off the tracks, you're gone.
No. Well, Courtney wants to know if either of us have been to the Upper Peninsula, and I would have to say no. Okay.
I haven't.
Yeah. And Josh
says,
about
the Panhandle area?
Oh, Panhandle, I've been there, but I haven't stayed long.
I haven't been there.
But when I think of Upper Peninsula, I think of Michigan.
Yeah. No, I mean, most of the lighthouses I've seen, to be honest with you, are in New England. Mm-hmm. Just about.
They're so different down here in Florida. They're not well taken care of.
Really?
Yeah, they're flooded. Or
what's the oldest one down there?
St. Augustine.
How old is that one? I don't know the history of it.
1700s.
Well, I mean, they must maintain it pretty well because the salt air is going to eat away at it.
Right. Some of them have been maintained really well. Others have been left to ruin, which contributes to the creepy factor. And I know several have been excessively damaged from the Civil War and then just left.
Yeah.
So
I'm thinking about, I saw the movie about the one in Scotland, is it? I forget the name of it. It escapes me. Where the 3 lighthouse keepers vanished without a trace.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming they got swept off the rocks or something, but where else could they have gone? You're on a little island. Mm-hmm. But that kind of stuff intrigues me, the mysterious stuff. Mm-hmm. Seguin Island up in Maine is alleged to be haunted again, but that's out on an island. I think you can stay there. They have let researchers stay there in the past. Doesn't mean you're going to capture anything, but that doesn't mean it's not haunted.
Right.
Just mean it might be pretty quiet, or they didn't like you or something. But
yeah. And one place I want to investigate really badly, but I don't know how I'm going to get there, is the Tower Hercules. It's the oldest standing lighthouse in the world, built in the 1st century, and it's in northwestern Spain. And just looking at the photos, it's amazing. I definitely want to get there. It's a square lighthouse.
Yeah, I mean, lighthouses originated back, way back, and they used to use fire. They'd build a fire, and somebody would be in charge of keeping the fire going.
And we have a quick question. Have you come across paranormal incidents where the entities are loved ones who give good advice, encouragement, and not always scary attacking ghosts? I have a story that fits that one perfectly. It was my grandfather. In 2018, I was diagnosed with stage 5 kidney disease. Felt my life was over. Thought it was, I was going to need dialysis, which I ended up not needing. Thought I was going to need a kidney transplant. Luckily, I ended up not needing it. My grandfather came to me one night, started off in a dream, told me it wasn't my time yet. I woke up. He was standing beside my bed, rubbing my arm. And he slowly faded away. And ever since then, my kidney disease improved. And now I'm clean and free of any signs of kidney disease.
That's a wonderful story.
Yeah.
In all the years I've been doing this, most cases are loved ones coming to visit in a case like that, or where there's a newborn baby, or, someone's sick. TV and Hollywood would have you believe that it's always a demon. I'm going to say it, because that's what puts butts in the seats, and that's what makes money. Ghosts, spirits of your loved ones are not going to attack you. They may scare you if you see them. That's why I was always told. I remember Lorraine used to tell me that they would try to enter through your dreams because they don't want to frighten you.
Yep.
Because obviously, if I saw my dad standing over here, he's been dead 30 years, it would freak me out probably. Hey, Dad, what's going on? Sit down and let's have a chat. That'd be wonderful after you get off over the initial shock of it all. But absolutely. It's not always, ghosts attacking people. It's usually something very negative. If something's going to actually touch you or hurt you or scratch you or whatever. But that's rare.
Right.
That's rare. I mean, it's not rare if you watch TV these days, it happens every day, everywhere. That's just not the case. No, it's true. It's just
see, except for I love it when I can surprise different TV shows with information. Like when I was on Ghost Adventures, they had no idea that there's rumors and urban legends that the Hoover Dam was designed after Satan's throne.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so here I am feeding them demonic information.
Yeah, well, you're like a walking encyclopedia.
It was in my book. You didn't read the book, did you, that you bought?
Huh?
You didn't read the book that you
Not
bought,
all
did
of
you?
it. I'm sorry. I'll get to it. It's on the list. It's on the list.
Courtney wants to know what experiences with newborn babies.
Well, I mean, the case I was working on a few weeks ago, young couple had their first child, and all of a sudden they started having activity.
Mm-hmm.
Now, was the activity a past loved one? I don't know. I mean, I didn't even go there. I didn't need to. I gave them a bunch of advice, and it worked. But I had asked her if she had any antiques or anything in the home. She said, well, yeah. She says, we have my grandparents' bedroom set. I guess nobody else wanted it, but they took it and they put it in their spare bedroom. They didn't use it in their master bedroom. And she would say that her son, who was a little over a year old, was looking at something in the room, and it was scaring him. Mm-hmm. And also the dog would react to it. And her grandmother had passed away recently, within the past 3 years or so, I think just before COVID. And, with all the information that she gave me, I said, well, maybe it's your grandmother that's come, to see the baby and spend time with the baby. I mean, it's a theory, unless we see grandma sitting there with the baby on her lap, we'll never know. But I've found that in times of great strife, when people are depressed or they've got tough times, they'll have experiences, and that could be past loved ones coming to give them support. I know when my wife's father died, my nephew, who was 10 at the time, said that he was visited the night of his funeral after he was buried. He said, Grandpa came and sat on the end of my bed, and I was talking to him. Mm-hmm. He said I was wide awake. And I think at 10 years old, you could tell the difference.
Right.
And I said, sure. That's a beautiful thing. So I mean, I believe that happens more often than all this negative, evil stuff that TV likes to show.
So here's a quick theory that just popped to mind. You know how there's always these reports of kids remembering past lives?
Yeah.
Could these spirits that kids are seeing, could they be the remnants of their past life?
Could be. I mean, who are we to say, nah, that's crazy?
Right.
I mean, that would be irresponsible to do that.
Right.
It's a great theory. Mm-hmm. I mean, I wish there was a way we could really study it.
Yep. Yeah, that would be interesting.
A controlled environment.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, there's questions I would love to have the answers to that I'm pretty much accepted the fact that in this lifetime I won't. Maybe in the next, if you believe in that sort of thing.
Right.
But just like the spirits, ghosts, whatever you want to call them, what are they? Do they really exist? Mm-hmm. It's our faith that says it does. Do they really exist? A lot of people are like, no, I don't believe in that stuff. Well, that's fine. We respect that.
Yep.
I respect that. I believe they exist because I've seen too much. I've been physically assaulted by things that wasn't grandma slapping me in the face. I wish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Have an open mind. That's all I ask.
Yep. And the Facebook user asked, can I ask a question? Sure, go ahead. We have about 10 minutes left. But you asked your question. Yeah, I know. Time goes by fast. This is why we'll make the announcement in a little bit of what we're going to be doing. But we have one more quick question before that. With technology we have today, would you, meaning either you or myself, lend our likeness and voice to AI and Chat GPT so our loved ones could have a conversation with us after we transition?
I'm reading it myself.
Yeah. And that one I'm torn because it's one of two things. I don't know if it would be comforting or if it would cause more problems because they're having trouble letting go if I'm constantly there.
Yeah, that's a good point. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'd have to think about that one.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Interesting question, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's some good questions tonight.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Some of them,
they're finally coming out of the woodwork and asking questions.
Mm-hmm. Courtney, yep. Mm-hmm. Look around the room, smile and giggle, blessing the baby. Yeah, I mean, again, it's all based on your faith. If you really, I've told you this before, and maybe the listeners have heard this, but one thing that I remember Ed telling me many years ago is like, if you think that something is a sign from a past loved one, then it is, because who's going to tell you it's not?
Right.
I mean, yeah, you're going to have your naysayers like, that's hogwash and stuff, but that's pretty disrespectful to do that. With my wife, and I use her as an example, it's rainbows. When she sees a rainbow, or if you're fortunate enough to see a double rainbow, she feels that that's her mom and dad, and her two brothers, unfortunately have passed very early, are on the other side smiling down on her, saying everything's going to be okay. She believes that in her heart. I'm like, well, then it is. And I remember the day we were riding around with Ed in the rain, and we had gone to lunch, and she brought that up, and he said that. He said, that is a sign. If you feel that it is, because none of us are going to be able to dispute that.
Yep.
And if you do, you're a jerk.
Yeah.
If you say, you're crazy, who's going to say that? I mean, I'm sure there are people out there that would, but those are the kind of people that you want to avoid.
Yep. And here's our last question. Some believe the fairies to be spirits of the dead, while some believe them to be fallen angels. Though the exact province of fairies is unknown, the idea of fairy is very dear to the English folklore. Since centuries, fairies have been painting the imagination of children and adults alike with their benevolence, notoriety, and magical powers. Any thoughts?
I believe in fairies. I want to visit the Fairy Bridge, to be honest with you. I'm of Irish descent, and one of my things on my bucket list is to go there. I have not been to Ireland yet. Ireland and Scotland, I want to visit some of these castles that are over there that are supposed to be spooky. I'm sure they're spooky or creepy looking, but there's a lot of history to it. But fairies, I definitely believe that that's true. I mean, if I believe in this other stuff, but say I don't believe in fairies, I mean, make myself look like an idiot.
Yeah, no, I've always believed in fairies, but I've from my research and from my experiences, they're kind of like tricksters.
Yeah.
They're, and there's even some cases that I've done where we thought that it wasn't a angry spirit, that it actually might have been a fairy. Yeah. Because she was experiencing practical jokes almost in her home.
Yeah, I don't feel that they're fallen angels. I feel that fairies are for the good. Yeah. And they're there to help people. Fallen angels would be something more dark and sinister, in my opinion. Yeah. But I know in England and Scotland and Ireland, the fairies, I mean, you don't want to disrespect people because they believe in that stuff. Yep. And I respect that because I do as well. I mean, I heard it growing up from my mother, who was very Irish, about the stories of fairies and the Fairy Bridge, which I'm not sure where that is. I forgot. But yeah, I'd like to kiss the Blarney Stone if I'm physically able. I hear it's pretty hard to get to.
It's also pretty disgusting. What are you going to do? Spray it down with hand sanitizer before you kiss it?
You could use those fake lips you put over your lips.
Oh, no, but yeah, Courtney mentioned gnomes, but I also am intrigued and have done a lot of research on the Norway trolls.
Trolls, gnomes, hobbits?
Yep, I don't know. He might be somewhere in my bookshelf over here, but I have a gnome that I got from Disney, but it was actually imported from Norway with some of their stuff that they sold at Disney.
Well, I mean, these stories have been passed down for centuries from people that believe in it. So I believe anything's possible. Yep. I mean, could there be fairies and gnomes and trolls and things like that? Yeah.
And it's the user says it's a banshee.
The wheel of the banshee? Is that what it is? I mean, I've heard of the banshee, but that's the negative one, I guess.
I think so.
Because I hear when you hear the wail of the banshee, that's not good. It usually means death is impending. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. And Courtney, don't worry, I look like a troll some days too, so I'm right there with you.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, this is a great conversation. We're not really talking about lighthouses, but we can have a part 2 to that.
I think we just need to not have a topic on our show.
Well, that's just it. I mean, this show, like we discussed, months ago, we want this show to be fun, entertaining, lighthearted. But there are some serious moments. We're not making fun of anybody or poo-pooing anybody's questions. If I don't know the answer, I'm just going to tell you I don't know. But a lot of good questions.
If he doesn't know the answer, he'll have me answer it.
Well, I'll just have you answer it. I'll just go like, I got something in my throat. Heather, you take it.
But on that note, we have like 5 minutes left. So one good news that we do have is we are going to be, well, not good news because we are taking next week off because I will be at Spirit Fest here in Orlando with my mom. But we will be returning in 2 weeks. And
she doesn't trust me to run this by myself. It would turn into.
I don't think Todd could handle you for.
I mean, let's take a poll. Does anybody want me to run this solo? Because we'd need like 3 hours.
You wouldn't know when to end.
Thoughts with Joe Franke. It's like, why the hell do they build fences around cemeteries? I mean, nobody wants to go in, and they certainly can't get out. I mean, what do you need the fence for?
And that actually reminds me, we were looking at a house that we were thinking on buying, but we decided not to. And you had the backyard, and then behind the backyard was a cemetery. And I'm like, ooh! I was like excited.
It's quiet.
I know. I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, okay, this is going to be fun.
I don't understand why, people are afraid of cemeteries. I love old cemeteries just for the gravestones and the ornate decorated, headstones.
Yep.
What does bother me is when people destroy them.
Yep, that's what Courtney was saying.
I don't want to get off on a tangent, but when you got a headstone that's been there for 300 years and somebody comes in and just kicks it over, maybe it can be repaired, but it'll never be whole again.
No.
That's just disrespectful.
Maybe we'll have to do a topic on that, on respectful investigations of cemeteries.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we got so much stuff we could talk about.
Oh, yeah,
people
definitely.
Send in some ideas of what topics you want to hear.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and you can find the show on its Passport to the Paranormal on Facebook. You can find it there, or you guys know where to find me. You can send me a message or send Joe a message. Courtney likes that topic. Josh says it's because people are dying to get into cemeteries, which is why they have fences.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
But
I think saw that on camera. The old Rodney Dangerfield. Yeah.
So when we do return in 2 weeks, we will be going live for 2 hours instead of just 1 hour. So you got 2 hours of Joe Franke. I hope you guys can handle that. I hope I can keep him under control for those 2 hours.
I don't know, man. The medication's starting to wear off.
And real quick, I need to look up the date because I am drawing a blank on it. But unless Joe knows off the top of his head, when is Phantasm?
The 20th?
The
2 weeks
15th,
from today,
16th,
right?
For Phantasm?
Oh, Phantasm is the 15th through the 17th.
Yep, 15th
I'm sorry,
through the 17th.
Talking about our next show.
Yeah, our next show will be...
Phantasm is 15th, 16th, and 17th of September.
Yep, and both Joe and I will be there.
Please come and protect me from Squeak.
It'll be a fun and interesting. And I go, if you guys have watched any of my other shows, Bill will be there as well as some other people. I'm trying to remember. I don't know if Jeff is making his way down. I know Chris will be there.
I'm trying to twist his arm to get Dana and him to come down.
Yeah, last I talked to him, he said he was thinking of it.
That would be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I might be asked to leave.
He might not want to show up because we'll probably make him do video work.
Jeff loves to do that, though.
Here, video this panel for us.
He does a great job.
Yes,
he loves that. He lives for that stuff, but try not to overburden him.
Yep.
Yeah,
nope. I'm gathering evidence that I need to send him for him to tear the audio off from the video. So I just need the audio and not the video. So I can't show the video. He's amazing
what he can do.
Right.
I'm in awe about that. I'm not that technically inclined when it comes to the software and things like that. But
yeah,
I can certainly come on screen here and make an ass out of myself, but that's easy.
We're used to that. No. Oh, don't pout.
No respect.
But anyway, if you guys have any questions or want us to talk about any topics in the future, let us know. I'm sure we'll brainstorm behind the scenes and come up with our next topic, and we will be back July 20th. So thank you guys for watching, and you guys all have a great week.
Thanks, everybody. God bless. Be safe. Bye. Bye.
The truth is here and now on WLTK-DB Talk Radio at WLTKDB.com.